Hey guys, welcome to my video. My name is J-Man and I'm here to give you another comic book review. This time it's going to be the follow-up to Death of Superman, which is the follow-up to World Without a Superman, which is The Return of Superman. There you have it. Okay, so as you can see, quite a lengthy book, very thick, lots and lots of pages. I can't even begin to tell you how many comics this covers. Basically all 4 Superman titles, and that's important because the way they organize this, each title reflects a different Superman character, and that character is the main focus of that title. For instance, Superboy, Eradicator, Man of Steel, Cyborg. Action Comics has a focus on the Son of Krypton, also known as Eradicator. Okay, Man of Steel obviously has a focus on Steel. Superman has a focus on the Cyborg Superman, and Adventures of Superman is about Superboy for the most part. That's not to say that these characters don't cross over into each other's comic, because they certainly do, but they're not the main focus. But eventually the story includes all of them coming together towards the end. But the big issue with this, the selling point is, okay, at the end of the other one, Superman's body was missing for the second time. And at the beginning of this, we're introduced to 4 new Supermen, all claiming to be the real Superman. So the big question here is, who's the real one? Who's the real one? And on top of that, what is their backstory? Where did they come from? So you have 4 new origins, 4 new interesting characters. At the same time, you get a bigger supporting cast, but more focus this time. More focus on the whole mystery of who are these new Supermen. Each one's a little bit different than the other. Some are more obviously not Superman, like, for instance, you find out pretty early on, Steel can't possibly be the real Superman, okay? But the other 3, very questionable, especially these 2. The guy with the shades and Cyborg, okay? The book does a pretty good job of providing evidence to make you think that each one is the real one. Lois Lane plays a huge role in that. She's the key factor. You know, it's up to them to convince her that they're Superman, but she has a lot of doubts. So eventually we start to find out that even though 3 out of the 4 look a lot like Superman, those 3 don't have near the same mindset as Superman. They don't have the same personality, and that's the only thing that's missing. Steel, on the other hand, has a lot of the same values and morals that Superman has. So Lois Lane begins to she kind of prefers Steel and thinks that Steel is the true one for a short amount of time. Then later on we find out there's a big twist in here. There's a big surprise. There's more than one villain. There's one major villain, and it's not Doomsday. But there's a whole lot of build-up before we get any reveal. Yeah, but I like all 4 of these characters. My favorite would be Superboy, which, you know, there had been previous incarnations of Superboy, but I feel like this is the best ever, or the most popular. And he would go on to get his own spin-off series, ongoing and miniseries, as well as Steel. Steel would get his own series. And even a movie for Steel, but I'm trying not to talk about that because I think we all know that that was a disaster. Yeah, but I highly recommend this over the other one, the World Without Superman. I think this is much better. Is it better than Death of Superman? That's tough. It's pretty much on par. There's a lot of action towards the end. You know, I would say more drama in this than even than a Death of Superman. Same amount of action, but more build-up, just more everything in this one. Obviously, because it's bigger, but I think they did a good job. They put a lot of thought into how they wanted to organize it, and the timing was really well. Eventually, Superman does come back, obviously, by the name of the book, and I don't want to spoil it too much for you in case you haven't read it, even though this is really old. This was 1993. What else to say about it? Let's just look at some of the artwork. Let's see if I can find a few panels that look really cool. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the artwork, but it's fine. It's decent. Okay, the beginning, the prologue. I really like the prologue. First ever appearance of Steel. Without the costume. Okay, first ever appearance of the last son of Krypton, if you want to call him that. He has other names. Eradicator, if you want to call him that. It's probably his true name. First appearance of Superboy. Well, first, full panel. Another thing about Superboy, you don't get to exactly understand his origin or how he was created in this book, but that will be addressed in the Superboy spin-off series. But you get pretty much an idea of how he was made. Cyborg Superman. Out of all the Superman, his origin, the Cyborg's origin, you have to wait the longest to find that out, and for good reason. But I think they did a really good job of just integrating all four Superman into one story. And the anticipation or the excitement from this is you want to see, okay, which one's the most powerful, because Superman is really strong. So whoever's the strongest out of these four might be the real Superman. Now, you don't exactly get to see an all-out brawl between them. However, they do pair off, and towards the end, there's a lot more fights. But yeah. I don't want to say too much about that before we get into spoilers, but a lot of the Supermen have, how should I say this? They have their own agenda, and that kind of gets in the way with the other Supermen, so they come into conflict. They also come into conflict with the Justice League. Really good stuff. Oh, Green Lantern. Green Lantern makes an appearance in this. You get an entire issue of Green Lantern towards the end. And I don't think it's the Hal Jordan version. It's a different Green Lantern. Okay, so that pretty much sums it up without giving into too many spoilers. I'll look at a little bit more artwork for you. Some Superboy action. One of the issues they did focus on Superboy meeting Supergirl, and I thought that was kind of neat. Oh, another thing. Each one of the Supermen get their own kind of support group. Like, obviously Lex Luger tries to buy all of them, but he can't really do that. He tries and fails. But the media pretty much side with Superboy, whereas the government side with the Cyborg. And you can kind of argue that the cultists, or the Superman cult, sides with Eradicator. And Steel, he just kind of has the support of the people on the streets, stuff like that. A little bit more artwork. One more panel for you. See if I can find a good one. Okay, here we go. I really like the design of Steel. It's too bad they couldn't come up with a good movie version. But anyway, there you have it. Return of Superman. I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. So I hope you enjoyed this review. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.